Hi there, my name is Matty, and in this video I'm going to be running you through my first month selling digital products on Etsy. Now the reason I'm making this video is because I want to document my process in setting up my Etsy store and seeing how far I can take it really, and hopefully try and teach others something along the way. So the idea is to document not only my successes and failures, but as well show how I'm learning, the tools that I'm using, and try and help others create their own online businesses. So I'd just like to preface this video by saying I'm a complete beginner. It's my first time doing anything like this. I'm not a business expert or anything. I just did see that there was a potential in selling products online, more specifically digital products on Etsy. So before I actually show you my stats, I'd first like to run you through what my targets were, what I was selling, and how I did it. If you're not interested in any of that, I'm just interested in the stats, that's absolutely fine. There should be a timestamp on screen right now. You can just jump ahead and have a look at those numbers. So I started my Etsy store on the 26th of July, and my goal was to hit 50 sales and reach a revenue of £100 or $125 within the first 30 days. So I'm selling digital Canva templates for small business owners. For now, I don't really want to get into any more detail than that, and there's two reasons for that. Firstly, I don't want to saturate my niche any more than it already is. And secondly, I don't want to run the risk of people finding my Etsy store and affecting not only my conversion rate, but the Etsy algorithm and how it's currently working on my listings. So I did do some initial research before actually opening the Etsy store for around a week or two. So although I opened the store on the 26th of July, I was doing research in a niche, in designs, and as well as listing ideas and product photos. As of making this video, I have about 90 listings up, and I was aiming to upload around 3 a day. So there were days where I uploaded 3, there were days where I uploaded 2, and there were some days where I uploaded 4. I do understand that this is a lot of work and not everyone can do this, but I think it's very important for the first week or two to actually be very active on your Etsy store and try and upload at least one product a day. The way I was able to actually achieve 90 listings in my first 30 days was by generating a bigger bundle, which would have several products inside, upload that listing, and then from that product, be able to separate them into separate listings. This meant that if someone wanted one of the products that was in the actual bundle, they didn't have to pay for the full bundle and they could still actually just buy one of the products which was on their own. Or if they were interested in everything that was in the bundle, they could buy it rather than buying all the separate listings. My intention was to try and find a balance between quantity and quality. And what I mean by that was I wanted my listings to be of good quality, but I didn't want to sacrifice quantity either. Now that I've run you through my first 30 days selling on Etsy, I'd now like to show you my stats and figures and run you through all of those numbers as well. So these are my stats for my Etsy store for its first 30 days. I'd like to run you through these 4 numbers, starting with visits. So I had a total visit count of 1,692. If you're unfamiliar with how a visit works on Etsy, essentially if someone goes on Etsy and looks for a product, on the product search page, if someone actually clicks on your product listing, so they're taken to the page where they can look at more product photos, they can read the description, and actually potentially buy the product, that counts towards your total visit count. As I said, on the 26th of July is when I opened my store, and from the 27th onward, I had at least one person visiting my products every day, which is great. You can see that there is a gradual increase in the daily amount of visits I'm getting, and that makes sense. So I try to upload at least 3 products a day, and at the moment I'm sitting at around 90 products. So of course, the more products I've actually got up on Etsy, the more likely people are able to find them and then by default potentially click on them. You'll also notice that there is a couple of dips on the graph. So for example, on the 12th of August, I had 80 visits. That dropped down to 43 on the 13th. And then on the 18th of August, I had 96. And then on the 19th of August, that dropped down to 69. I think the reason for this, and I could be wrong, but I think the reason is because the niche that I cater towards, which is small business owners, the dates of these visit drops is, if I'm not mistaken, the weekend. And so to my understanding, the people that are working on their small businesses aren't going to be working during the weekends. They might be with their friends, they might be with their family. I think they're just generally spending less time working on their business. During the standard 9 to 5 on Monday to Friday is when I seem to be getting more active visits and orders. And that's really the only reason I can think of why there are these dips in the graph. It could just be generally people are less active on Etsy on the weekends. I don't really know, but that's the only conclusion I could come up with. But generally looking at the graph, I'm very happy. You can see that there is an increase in the daily visits that I'm getting. And that means that not only are my product listings good, but people are actually enticed enough to actually think, okay, this product looks good, let me click on it and get some more information about it. So I'm very happy about that. The next stat I want to talk about is my orders. So I hit a total of 119 orders, which essentially doubled my target, which is really great. I'm really happy about that. So again, I started my store on the 26th of July, and I actually got my first order on the 27th. So I think it was about maybe 12, 15 hours later after opening my store, I got an email from Etsy saying, congratulations, you've gotten your first order. And I was over the moon. I thought I'd gotten the golden nugget. I found the perfect product, and I made it. But I soon found out the next day I didn't get an order. The following day, again, no orders. And it seemed to just be going up and down for a bit. It wasn't until the 6th of August where I started to get daily concurrent orders. And this was around the time I would have had around 30 products up, maybe 40. It wasn't every day where I was uploading 3 products. There were some days I was uploading 2. There were some days I was uploading 4. But on the 6th, I would have had around 30 to 40 products on my Etsy store. And similarly with the visits, you can see that the amount of orders I'm getting is gradually increasing. The first time I hit over 10 orders was on the 22nd of August, which is quite recent actually. And so generally looking at the graph as well, you can see there is an increase. And so I'm happy with it. It's telling me that people are not only visiting my products, but they're actually choosing to purchase them, which is great. So the next number I want to talk about is the conversion rate, which is currently standing at around 7%. So the graph itself is quite funky looking, to be honest. On average, it does seem to be sitting at around between 6 to 8%. And from the research that I've done, the average conversion rate is between 2 to 3. So for me to be currently at 7 is fantastic. It means I've got more than double the average conversion rate. And what that tells me is that when someone actually visits my products, they're more than likely to actually buy it. So when I promote and create my product listing photos, I try and create them to be as professional as possible. But more importantly, of course, I make the product be as professional as possible. And the way I design my product photos is to entice the customer, to make them not only think that they might like this product, but that they need this product, that having this product would help their business. And I think that's very important when actually creating potential orders and having people actually buy the product. You want them to think that they need this product because it's going to help them. It's going to help them succeed in whatever they're trying to achieve. So that's really all I want to talk about on the conversion rate. The next one is revenue, which is currently standing at £376.41, which roughly equals to $475. So in my first 30 days, I've hit almost $500, which is incredible. I'm really happy with this number. I have pretty much more than tripled my intended target from my first month, so that's great news. This is of course not my actual profit, so my profit is this minus the Etsy fees, which I've yet to calculate. I will have that number at the end of the video, but that's pretty much what I want to talk about, the revenue really. That it's a great number, I think, in my opinion, to have in my first 30 days. It's more than triple of what I wanted to initially achieve. And again, it's telling me that the products that I'm selling that people actually want and people are investing the money towards actually having them. So those are the stats for my Etsy store in its first 30 days. As I previously mentioned, the actual numbers that you saw earlier aren't actually the money that I'm taking home, because that doesn't take into account the Etsy fees. My actual take-home pay is £268.77. This roughly equals around $338. So what does this mean? So I achieved my goals, I doubled my amount of orders, and I almost tripled my intended profit. And I want to continue with my store. From the numbers, it's telling me that the products that I'm making are in demand. People are actively looking for these products and they're looking to buy them. And I want to see where I can take this store. I want to try and continue to upload at least 3 products a day, make new products, continue with my market research and see where else I can take it. From a YouTube perspective, I'd really like to try and continue to document my Etsy store, but I'd also like to make videos on how I'm actually doing this. So how I market research, the tools that I'm using, how I make my listing photos, how I sell my products on Etsy, because I think it's achievable for everyone really. I think there is a huge demand for digital products, and once you find your niche and make these products, anyone can actually achieve it. So that is this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and even subscribe for future updates. As I said, this is sort of a documented journey. I really want to see what I can make of this and try and help anyone and everyone really make money online. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye.